Hey guys, welcome to another video. In this video, I'm just going to show you guys how to wash your hats. This is going to be a basic kind of summary of it. It's the simple stuff. It's all you really need to know. I'm going to show you two ways of doing it as well. And one thing to note before you watch this video is that it is very important that you do not put your hats through a washer. Dishwasher, why would you do it in the first place? I don't know, but just to be clear, don't do that and don't put it through a washer for clothes, especially not for the dryer, because both of those will damage your hats, especially the brims as they go and are tumbled through all around. The brims will get extremely damaged, at least after doing that frequently. So if you have done that, please stop doing that and follow the instructions that I give you in this video. So the first hat that I have, I'm going to be washing the exterior. As you can see, I already actually started washing this hat, but I never finished it. It was becoming a little bit of a struggle. Here you can see there is some damage done, and not damage, but some dirt right here on the brim and a little bit kind of all over the place. And then on this hat, the outside is mostly fairly clean, I would say. But on the inside, there's dirt that's been gathering there, as you can see from my forehead. So, or even anywhere around, even on my hair, it goes all the way around, doesn't matter. So I'm going to be washing this one on the, just kind of like the brimmer on the bottom, and I'm going to be using two different methods for cleaning each hat. So for this one, I will be soaking it in a bowl, which is the one we'll do first, and washing it. And then for this Oakley hat, I will just be taking it and washing it without the bowl to show you guys both different ways you can do it. And you can pick either one or whatever. You can switch around when you're washing your hats, doesn't really matter, but these are the two different ways that you can do it. So as you guys can see, I have this bowl, roughly around the right size for the hat. So if I put it in here, it's not great, but it won't be able to really soak in the bowl, but I'll be able to use the bowl for this. And I don't really use this method that much, but it is one that I saw online, so you can do it if you so desire. So you want it on hot water, or at least warm, so actually I'll let it heat up for a minute. So the water's probably hot enough, I'd say, by now. So I'm just going to fill up this bowl here. And after that, I'll catch up with you guys. The bowl is now filled with warm, not necessarily hot, but warm water. And I'm just going to put the hat actually in here and get it nice and wet. And get it ready for to be scrubbed. And I'll need a toothbrush for that and some dish soap. So I have my resources here, and typically, as I said earlier, I prefer to just hold the hat and scrub it, but I'm sure there is a benefit to getting the hat soaked and stuff and having the bowl to kind of accumulate just the stuff. And you can even drizzle soap on the hat while doing this and getting the water soapy, but I don't think that this hat is really dirty enough for that. It's not covered in dirt, so I'm not going to do that for this one. But if you get if you fall in the mud while having a hat on or something like that, you could do that where you get soap all over the hat. Again, this hat is not dirty enough for that, but you could do that. So I'm going to apply the soap now. And then I just dropped a little bit of soap in there. And then I'm going to grab the hat. And I'm going to turn it upside down because the inside is where it's going to be washed. And what happened to this? I don't know what happened to the soap. I think I lost it. Let's just see what happens, because the bubbles show up. Okay, yeah, I'm going to need some more soap. It fell off at some point. Okay, I think what's happening is the soap is actually going on the bottom of the brush. I've never actually seen that happen before. But this process is actually really important if you're going to be wearing hats often, because you really don't want to have this dirt, especially on your forehead. You really don't want to have all of this dirt pressing up against your forehead. It's just bad. It could worsen, it could make acne worse, or it could just make you more dirty in general. And it's just not something that I would recommend to have, on you all the times, having all this dirt from your body. So as you can see, I've kind of made it around this area here of the hat on this side. And it's not, I guess the lighting isn't great for the camera. It's super warm. Let me try to fix that actually. Well guys, unfortunately, I wasn't able to improve it much. I don't even know if it showed a difference at all or anything. I tried adjusting the white balance on the camera. I did what I could. But I'm starting on the other side now around the kind of brim. Sorry, I'm going to take care of my dog right now. Sorry about my dog. Anyways, I forgot where I was, but I'm just taking care of the other side of the hat. I'm going to actually check out the middle again and make sure that it's good. Because of the very warm sort of tone of this video, I don't know how well you'll be able to see how much this hat has already been washed, but it actually is looking a lot better than it did before. This is a spot where the dirt, builds up a lot, even on the outside. It was around the band. Now, not all of my hats, like the hat I'm wearing right now, does not actually have a band on it. It's one of the athletic, elastic ones. But this is a spot where it gets real nasty with dirt. I'm not exactly sure why. But even on the outside, I don't know if you can see that. It's a little blob right there. But even here, it's a little bit more brown. And it's weird, but it does that. It just builds up with dirt. And sometimes, this blob here isn't coming out very well. So I'm actually pushing down with the soap and hoping to get more soap inside of the material here, because this is a very thick material, especially around this thing that I just washed. And that little piece of dirt has been there for a while now, and I've been trying to get rid of it, and it hasn't worked too well yet. I think this was actually the first hat that I washed out of my collection, but I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, especially right here by the band is where you want to, especially if you're wearing hats backwards, you really want to keep those nice and clean just to keep them looking nice. So now I'm just going to put the hat back into the bowl and let the soap kind of hopefully leave the hat as well as possible, and also just soak up the hat in general, get any extra dirt off. And you can already see how dirty this water looks. And that's just insane. But yeah, so I'm just going to put the hat in here for a minute and just let it soak up. Okay, now the first thing that you can do to sort of dry it out is here, I'm just going to kind of squeeze some water out of this back part of the hat, but that won't work in the front very well. And that's when you really got to just either let it sit outside in the sun, or if it's during the winter, you need to have a hair dryer or something, which is what I've done before, is use the hair dryer to finish the job. Okay, so that water got pretty dirty, and you could see that hat just had a lot of dirt accumulated, probably all around the hat, but especially, especially around the forehead and the sides of the hair area. So I've already touched this hat up. However, I really want to get rid of that little bit of dirt. I don't know how well you can see it, but right here where I've put the soap, there is a bunch of dirt there that will not leave. And so I'm just going to scrub it, kind of hope to just get a lot of soap in there. And then I'm going to rinse it under the sink. So I'll get that faucet ready. And I guess I'll just make sure there aren't any other spots on the hat that need to be touched up. The inside looks fine. The brim looks all right. It's been almost a year since this hat actually got dirty. And I just haven't really finished washing it. But that's just the last spot where there's dirt. So I'm hoping that this will do it. But yeah. So make sure that the water is nice and warm, nice and hot, really. If you want it to be pretty hot for this job. So I'll give that a second. So now the water is pretty hot. And I'm just going to rinse this out. In fact, let me get over here and just really scrub it down. Use the last bit of soap that I have. And just hope for the best as I try to really get rid of that dirt. And honestly, if you ask me, that looks pretty clean, way more clean than before. Not sure how well the camera showed the dirt, but excuse my dog. I'd say that's a job well done. so far, from what I can see at least. So then of course you want to rinse the area where you applied the soap. Since there's no bowl here, it won't just come out. You need to actually hold it underneath. You need to hold the hat or whatever area of the hat you washed underneath the water for just a little bit to just get that soap out of there, because you really don't want that sitting there. As you can see, there are like little bubbles in different areas, so you want to get that out. Now you really only have two options for drying this out, of course. As I said earlier, you could throw your hats in the dryer, but that's the part that really ruins the hat the most, because that's the most open space to do that. So there are two options. You could use a hair dryer, and that's really your only option during the winter. You could just let it sit there for a while, but it's going to take so long to dry out, it might just damage the hat at that point. So you really need to have a hair dryer, and just dry it off with that. You could consider maybe putting it by a heater or something as well, but a hair dryer is the most efficient. It's the fastest way of doing that. And then right now for me, it is June. I don't know if it's technically summer yet, but it's pretty much the summer at this point. So what I would do right now, it's a little bit late, it's the evening, but tomorrow I'm probably going to set these hats outside on my deck. You obviously don't have to have a deck to do this. You just need to set it outside somewhere and just let the sun take care of this. And then your hats will be dried and you'll be able to wear them again. I hope this video really helps you guys out. I pray you guys have a great day and there will be prosperity in your life. See y'all in the next one. Peace.